is going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub. This is K-Dub's High Five. 5 rapid-fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today we bring in a true hobby family favorite. She is a hobby content creator. She is also the face, my friends, of Topps Big League Influencer set coming out very, very soon. She is Jess Mineo at Breaks with Jess on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, what else are you on? Did I get them all?
That's basically it. And just in real life, that's
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. Well, how are you doing today? It's great to have you on.
I'm great. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, can you believe it? It's Thursday. The week just I feel like just flew by on us. So, how we're gonna do this here? I got 5 questions, all hobby related. I'm gonna throw them at you one right after another. Ready to take on the high five?
Yep, let's go.
All right, breaks with Jess Mineo. For those who don't know who you are, kind of give us a picture of who you feel like you are in the sports card world.
In the sports card world, I'd say I'm a collector. I'm a hardcore collector. I'm your friendly face who you will see on Bleaker Trading, who you've seen at card shows, who you may have met 6 years ago in a Facebook group. I hope that that's what people see me as, and that's what I live by. But basically, I'm a collector, and I love this hobby. I love this industry, and I love what I get to do all the time.
Okay, you mentioned Bleaker Trading a little bit, the face of Bleaker Trading. Who is Bleaker Trading? What does that mean?
So Bleaker Trading we started as just a social club in the West Village in New York City. I was lucky enough to meet the owner and some of the workers at the National in 2021, I think. And I just moved to New York City at the time, and I was breaking for a little bit, and then I kind of wanted to change courses, and it just came an opportunity to start working for the brand, and it really took off from there. So basically, Bleaker Trading, it seems like a super exclusive place, but it's totally inclusive. We love our trade nights. We now have a small retail shop in the front of it in New York City, and we just opened our new store in LA. So Santa Monica, it's an insane location. It's an old Vans flagship store. It's like 4 blocks from the beach.
Okay.
It's beautiful. We just had a top strip night there with James Harden came through, which was awesome. And our next location should be opening up this summer in Dallas with Micah Parsons.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, I will make sure to link all the descriptions to you and Bleaker Trading in the description of the video. But New York City, what's the sports card life like in New York City right now?
It's awesome. I mean, the fact that we have so many exciting things happening with our sports teams. I mean, we'll get into it. Hopefully you get to ask a question about, who I PC, but Yankees are my #1. There's some big moves happening there.
Yes.
To be honest, in New York City, there's not many card shops. So that's why Bleaker Trading is so special, and I think is becomes staple in a flagship store in New York City, is because we are one of maybe 3 in the whole city. So there's millions of people in this place. And, the only other place I go to buy cards would be the MLB store, which is uptown.
Okay.
And then there's Bleaker Trading. So it's really cool. And when we have trade nights, the whole city comes out. The city comes out, people from Long Island, from New Jersey, and from other states as well. So
very cool.
It's really, really cool.
Love it.
It's yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's get into you as the collector a little bit. When you think about yourself and your hobby journey, like, who would you credit as some of your biggest influences?
I just start going down the list. I credit my family, my 2 brothers. My dad is #1.
Okay.
Not really. So when I was younger, I got into it because my dad worked a ton, and we spent every Saturday morning with him. And I have 2 brothers. I'm the middle child, so he would take us either to a toy store, to play some sports outside, and we'd always get like a treat. So toy store or the card store, and it would always be the card store. So they influenced me by teaching me that sports are not just a thing for like boys, and like I could like them too. Same with collecting. It also made me feel part of the family, and into that I started collecting and love sports. So that's my first influence, as interesting as that is, because they're not influencers or anything of the sort.
I don't feel like
my life.
Yeah, I don't feel like that at all. I mean, I've done, over 75 of these high five episodes, and I would say, 90% of the main person to influence their collecting is family members, mainly dads. And I can, speak for my own experience as well. My dad used to do the same thing. Take me to card shops on Saturday mornings. That's what we did. And so I think families always play the biggest role in our hobbies. So, anyways, continue on. Go down the
I
list.
would, yeah, I would say the next would be Chris from Cards Infinity.
Okay.
He's a breaker. He's been I think one of the first breakers on the internet, one of them. Not gonna fact check that, but he's definitely. I started watching his breaks back in 2010 or 11.
Oh, wow.
Some of them he would just upload because there was no YouTube Live.
Streaming, yeah.
And then when YouTube Live came about, my username on there was Jmin. So nobody knew that I was a female, but it was super cool because I'd go on all the time and just watch his breaks. And then that continued after I graduated college. So 2015, I worked with my dad. So I had a weird 9 to 5, but I could still log in and during work hours, chat with people, chat with the community. And through that, I made a ton of friends. So like that was the first breaker. I still watch him. I texted him the other day when I found out I got a card, and I was like, hey, I just want to say thank you for getting me back into the hobby and like watching your breaks. Like I still tune in every now and then. So I attribute he's a big influence because he, watching his breaks and getting the sense of a community, got me back into it.
Yeah.
That led to Facebook groups. So although Facebook groups are not an influence, I'd say it was a vessel for a community for me, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's where I met a lot of my friends,
Mm.
a lot of guys who have supported me, who have become like brothers, who I got to meet at the first Dallas card show back in 2020. We got things opened again. They're like, oh, you're Jess. I'm like, oh my God, so nice to meet you. And like, it was a genuine friendship.
Yeah.
Um,
Like you've known them for years.
yeah, and we really have. I've talked to these people more than my in real life friends.
Yeah.
So
I get it. 100%.
all through passion.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to my current boss right now, Mark Zablo, who owns Bleaker Trading.
Yeah.
People don't really see his face too much, but he has been really influential to me because, I used to break and it was all about people talk about the hobby and flipping and money and stuff like that. And he taught me that, yes, just do what you love.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what do you love to do? What makes you excited in this hobby? And it's really brought me back to my roots.
Yeah.
And it's really been the catalyst of me being who I am today and being able to speak about sports cards with a smile on my face and being excited to do it when I'm not doing my full-time job. And it really making me feel like I can make an impact and that every day, everything I do is intentional. So he's definitely built me up and also supports me in anything that I do and has been a role model. So all that, everybody who supports me is definitely an influence.
I think when you can find someone who really lets you pursue your passions, it's a pretty special thing. And when they're your boss, it's even more special. I mean, that's a pretty awesome thing when your boss is like pushing you to pursue the things you're most passionate about. So hold on to that. Hold on to that gig. I respect that a lot. So very cool.
Yeah, no, definitely super lucky. And everybody around me, they influenced me as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as a family, I started out with What's Up Hobby Family. I mean, I truly believe this community is a family. And like you said, a lot of times we talk more than these people we met online in these online communities than we do our actual friends. So it's a pretty unique, it's a unique and special thing that's hard to communicate to people who are outside of it because there's really nothing like it.
100%. It's its own world and it's expanding like in ways we can't imagine.
Sure.
And I love to see that. So
for sure.
I totally agree there.
All right, well, let's get to what people want to know, and that's the cards. Let's talk about the cards. So you mentioned being a diehard New York fan, Yankees fan. Let's talk about the Grail item for you. So the card you've always wanted or the item you've always wanted, what is it and why?
So this is a little cliche, maybe cliche. It'd be 1952 Mickey Mantle.
Okay.
That's a Grail card. I think it's a Grail card for anybody, not only because of the money, but he was a Yankee.
The Yankee.
That's not Grail. Yeah, the Yankee. Well, of course the Yankee, but there are two other guys who have my heart.
Absolutely.
That's just because they're more relevant in my life today.
Gotcha.
But no, that's definitely the Grail. I will not veer away from that.
And is that, I mean, like Mickey Mantle, what would draw you to that being the card you would want over the other two that you said, hey, these guys are more relevant to me? Like, why would you choose that one? Obviously, monetary wise, that's the one to have. But for you, you're not going to sell it. You're not going to get rid of it. Why?
I think it stems from my dad. My dad was a huge Mickey
Mm,
Mantle fan. So growing up, he loved memorabilia. So
mm,
he actually had a replica of his contract, but it
wow.
was really signed by him.
Yeah.
He has his signed book, and it was numbered out at 52. He has a signed old school Yankees hat by
Wow.
him. He had we have a Mickey Mantle signed bat,
Oh,
signed
wow.
base, and they're all real.
Huh.
And he better have them in the attic still. I told him those are mine. You better not get rid of those. But I think that's why, because I would go down, to the basement, and it lined the walls.
For sure.
Memorabilia would line the walls, and his signature was just amazing. So even though on that card it's his name and not his real signature, it's
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
and it's his
Mm,
younger self, and that's just so cool to me.
for sure. No, you got to love that personal connection. That not only do you see him when you see that card, but you also connect to your dad, and that's a pretty special thing. So
Yeah,
very
and just that name, it's a household name, I guess, for us.
absolutely, yeah. All right, well, let's get into the product. You said that you did breaks. So you got all the money in the world. You can rip any box you want. What box are you picking and why? Is it the 52
Oh
tops?
gosh. No, it's not the 52, because Mantle's the only person I would know from that.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough.
This is so hard. It's between two.
All right, bring them both. Bring them
All
both.
right. So we're gonna start off with so if those who don't know me, I love collecting mainly football and baseball.
Okay.
I do dabble in basketball, but I'm a diehard Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs fan, and that's because of my younger brother. It was when Alex Smith was actually the QB. So it's even weirder, but it would be 2017 National Treasures. I got to rip the 2018 with my younger brother, a case of it, when
Yeah.
it was cheaper then. So it was fun,
Back when
but
it makes sense to buy a case.
yeah, it was less than a box.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
So it would definitely be 2017 National Treasures.
Okay.
And then what I would love to rip is we do talking about a case or a box. Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
But
There's no
2018
rules.
Bowman. No, sorry, 2016 Bowman.
Okay.
Because there's Juan Soto,
Yeah.
Vladdy, Tatis.
Yeah.
It was a great year,
Hmm,
at least for Bowman prospects.
for sure.
So, I mean, I'd go after the Soto just because he's a new Yankee. And I had a Bowman first auto of his, and I traded it.
Oh,
Back in the day, I mean, that's fine. You can always get the card back. But I
absolutely.
think that's a fun class to rip, and I love Bowman. I love prospecting
Okay.
every year, but I did not get to rip 2016 because I got back into it in 2000, like ripping again in 2018, 19.
Okay.
So I missed that year.
Oh. So what was your break window? I mean, like, when did you stop to start again?
So I personally started ripping again 2017, late-ish, 2017, maybe early 2017, because I got Judge rookies and all that stuff.
Got it, okay.
I have Tatum stuff like in binders that I found. So like I definitely was almost there, but I just missed that window.
Gotcha.
But I professionally started breaking right during the pandemic. I
Okay.
never thought I'd be a breaker,
Yeah.
but somebody was like, "You love sports, you love collecting, like give it a shot."
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody wants to hear me. They're like, yeah, they do. Like you don't realize it. People respect you, they like you. I'm like, all right. So I had a fun run.
Yeah.
Mostly ripping Bowman. That was my favorite. And it was Facebook breaks. So
Well, what about Bowman? I mean, is it the prospecting piece, or what is it about Bowman?
I think it's a prospecting piece. I think I think that the youth has so much potential.
Hmm,
And when we invest in people's potential, I think we're investing in the long run and the long game.
yeah.
So it's more of a joy for me to watch these guys come up
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and to learn about them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get to the last question here. Obviously, I feel like you bring a different perspective than majority of the guests on my high five, because you do bring that female perspective. How do you feel like as a female in the hobby today? How do you feel like it's changed? Like, you've been in the hobby for a long time. How do you feel like the hobby has changed for the female collector going into 2024?
It's changed immensely, and I love to see the change. Back when I was in it, when I was in these Facebook groups in 2015, 16, whatever, there was maybe one or two other females that I ever spoke to in the hobby. My first card show back in Dallas, there was none that were set up. Maybe one or two with their husbands. It was cool.
Yeah.
As we started to progress and I went to card shows later on in the years, I would see younger girls set up. I would see more girls on the floor looking at cards and collecting.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward to today, and at trade nights, there's women showing up by themselves collecting. There's people who are DMing me on Instagram who are female collectors. There's some of the super influential women in this hobby who are collectors.
Yeah.
And not just women collectors, we're collectors. And that's the biggest part that I see is, you know, it's not just being a female. It's like, it's cool that, of course, a female collector. The most important thing to me is that we're just like any other collectors. And I hope to like the younger girls and the younger women of this generation see that as like, this is not just a boys' sport. This is not just a male dominated thing that you can't get into. It's a family that you start. You start wherever you start, and you make your own way in this.
Sure.
So, you know, I think it's amazing to see that there's more women involved. And I think it's even more amazing to see men supporting these women and putting us up and bringing us in just as we're a community.
And I think that's a big shift in that I've seen. It's just the support there. Whereas before it was like, you know, not like that masculine way of like, oh, no, this is for the boys. But I think it's an even playing field these days because honestly, you know so much more about baseball than I do. Like, it's crazy. Like even hearing you talk, I'm like, I don't know this stuff. Like prospecting, that's so beyond me. Like that's just not my type of collecting. But hearing you talk about it just like inspires me to go, hey, this isn't even playing field for all of us. And
yeah,
it's pretty neat. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, I love it. And you know, my first card show, people would ask the guy next to me if they could look at his cards and they'd be mine. And I was really brought up with whoever surrounded me is like, you talk to her, those are her cards. And like sometimes I would get attitude, and sometimes, you know, there's been words said, but now I don't think it's as much of that. And I don't think that women should be afraid. I think just exactly like you said, like it's an even playing field. We love what we love. We're all collectors.
For sure. It's the beauty of it all. I mean, it's the beauty of the hobby. They're faces with cardboard pieces with pictures or autographs or relics on them.
That's it.
We're all looking at the same stuff, so it should be an even playing field. Absolutely. So, all right, let's talk about what I just feel like is the most exciting thing ever. You get a baseball card in Topps Big League. You get your own baseball card. This is just a little bonus question off the cuff here, but what does that feel like for you when you get that call to say, hey, we want from Topps, hey, we want to put you on a card? Like, what does that feel like?
I have goosebumps right now. That's what it feels like.
I have goosebumps.
It's incredible to know that a company as large as Topps considers me important enough to be on a baseball card. It's a dream come true for me, collecting all my life, being on a baseball card. It's an honor, a true honor to be on a baseball card, whether, you know, whatever it may be. It was super inspiring, and it's amazing. And I got to write my own bio, and I got to take my picture, and like, I couldn't have ever dreamed this. You know, one day I do dream to be on an Allen and Ginter card, and that's 2 baseball cards, and that's a dream come true for me. So this is a dream come true, but dreams don't stop when you reach them.
Man.
But you know,
let's inspire some people right now on the high five. Well done. Goodness.
No, it's true though. Like
I love it.
This wasn't even versed. Like this is to be on a baseball card. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to celebrate it.
No.
And I can't wait to see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
So I know what it looks like, but I haven't held it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't seen it in my hands. And it comes out, I think, next week or in 2 weeks. So yeah.
Well, the hobby community eagerly awaits to see this card, and I do as well. So congratulations to you. That is very cool. I mean, a dream, like you said, that we all have, but just because you got that dream, you don't stop chasing. So good luck to you on the next dream chase, but congrats to you on this one. Very cool.
Thanks for having me on. Seriously, it's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we got a high five. Throw it up at the end of high five. We got a high five. Boom, throw it up there. You can follow Jess Minio, like she said, Twitter, Instagram, as well as TikTok and YouTube at Breaks with Jess. You can also sub to the channel, Dizzy.1. Follow me on Twitter or X at Mr. K-Dub. Shout out to our high five endorsers, Midwest Box Breaks, and LJ's Card Shop. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. Like you said, being an honor to be on a baseball card. It was really an honor for you to come on and be a part of the High Five team. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me and come down to New York City.
Over to New York City.
Over.
We're literally on different sides of the map. So I will though for sure.
Awesome. Hope to
All
see
right.
you soon again. Thank you.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see you guys next time on the next High Five.